Mainit na balitang ngayong araw naging matunog ang pangalan ni House Speaker Martin Tambaloslos matapos umano siyang mapahiya sa oral argument sa Korte Suprema. Ayon sa mga ulat, hindi umano na ipanalo ni Tambaloslos ang kanyang panig sa harap ng mga mahistrado dahilan upang siya ay talunin sa mainit na legal na labanan. Sa naturang pagdinig, sinubukang umanong ipagtanggol ni Tamba ang kanyang posisyon sa isang kontrobersyal na kaso. Ngunit napasapalpal ito ng matinding tanong mula sa mga mahistrado. Maraming netizens agad na nagpahayag ng kanilang reaksyon sa social media kung saan ang ibaba pa ay nagsabing ito ay isang malaking dagok sa kanyang kredibilidad bilang isa sa pinakamapangyarihang politiko sa bansa. Samantala, nananatiling tahimik ang kampo ni Tamba ukol sa isyung ito. Sa ngayon, patuloy na binabantayan ng publiko kung ano ang magiging susunod na hakbang ng House Speaker matapos ang kanyang pagkatalo sa oral argument. Nagbibigay ba siya ng opisyal na pahayag o harapin niya ang mga bagong hamon sa larangan ng legal? At yan nga ang balitang ating pagkakatutukan. Ngunit bago ang lahat, siguraduhin mag-subscribe at ihit ang notification bell para sa patuloy na pagtutok sa mga silip ng bagong balita sa tunay na boses ng MASA.
Dumadaan lang ho dyan si VP Sara, pero talagang pinagkakaluluan ho siya. Yan. Yan ho ang sinisirahan nila ng walang humpay. Yan ho ang gusto nilang pabagsakin kasi malakas ko talaga sa tao. Alam nyo, kung sa tingin nitong mga nasa administrasyon, nasa upper hand sila ngayon, ayaan lang ho natin sila. Sa 2028, dyan na talagang magkakaalaman. Makikita ho nila na talagang ang pagtitiwala at pagmamahal ng sambayan ng Pilipino nasa mga Duterte. Wala ho sa kung kanino mang politiko. Madali lang naman ho kasi yan eh. Ikumpara na lang ho natin. Panigurado bago ho iiwan ni Marcos Jr. itong administrasyon na to. Sabog-sabog ho ito. Ngayon pa nga lang, di pa nga niya iniiwan. Nakakalahati pa lang siya. Papunta pa lang siya sa kalahati. Sa June pa lang siya mga ngalahati, di ba? Sa June, tama, sa June pa lang siya mangangalahati, pero nakikita na ho natin mga kababayan na marami na, talagang nagpatong-patong na ho ang problema ng Pilipinas mula nung pumasok itong bangag na Marcos na to. Grabe naman yan. Si Lenny Robredo, wala ho tayong nakitang ganyan nung siya ang vice president. Matigas talaga itong si Lenny. Mahal na mahal talaga siya ng sambayan ng Pilipinas. Mayor Rama. Pagkatapos ho niyan, punta ho tayo dito sa naging talumpatin nitong si Vice President Sara Duterte. Pakinggan ho natin itong mga kababayan.
Sudabaw ka ng madaot yan, kanang inana, kanang painom ka niya, malain mong lawas, sana, or kanang wala niyo. Dili, sa Occidental. Sabihin ko ninyo, bisa nagpadala sa iyahan. Nga niyang ibuhat sa kuwao, ano siya? Anak, diri, anak. Sumsabihan ka mo, tambang ka. Sumsabihan ka akong kaagi. Anak siya diri, anak. Anak siya. Pagkaman diri, next. Diri, anak. Tapos, ang iya nga ba yung kanaganing, ano gani? Di ka lang init, kuryente sa sugod, no joke. Kanang, ingana lang siya, pero sa sulod, kanang, kuan, mura siya kanang init nga, basta gana grounded. Kanang, pero diris, hinay lang, pero sa sulod, mura siya kanang anak niya, pagkaw man diris, na siya. Iki ba na naman kaya naman, kay kapila na kung ginawarningan, anak. Kani ato pa ka ng, batanon pa ko nga politiko ba, nakauban ako nga mga konsihal, magsulti magina sila, pagbantay o pikpik, pagbantay o ka ng paimton ka, daw di magihan, o niya, suot ang pirmi, o ka ng nagagilak. Oo, dayawon kay para pangontra, ana. So, muna kuan. Pagbiya na lang kasi. Saan pa man. Giingat, bitaw di ka nito makagawa na rin bungi. Ako ang ganina. Kanya ako ang kauban. Ako pa uli. Ang saan di ako sa kong anak na mauli ko. Tali kami tatubutan. Ako siya mabuto. Ako natin tawagan ng Jobon. Oh, sabi ni, pipig, anak. Tapos, igugol na ko siya. Nawali nga na ba yan yung buwana? So, igugol na ko siya. Sa kadaghan sa mga tao, gi-anak din ako siya. Gi-anak ako siya. Apit pa yung kapaspas kayo siya. Nakabalik. Kaya sa kadaghan ba, sa kagupon sa mga tao, nawala na siya. So, pag-ana niya doon balik, wala na po ka. Balik po, murag pa ng vaccine sa pikpik ba? Kabalos. Kakuan na. Tapos pagkahuman nato, nasakit na ko. So, murag October ba to? October 2023, nga pagka-December. Sakit na ko. O niya, na-hospital na ko. December. O niya, pagka nauli-ulian ko, na-okay ko. Ipauli ko sa kong mama o Davao. Anak kong mama nga, uli na dito sa Davao. O niya, pagkahuman, itambalan, ana, DPT, physical therapy, o niya, binisaya, idungan ng duha. Anak, niya, pagkahuman, na-okay ko, nakabalik ko January, pagkahuman, April, kabalik na po sa hospital. Tapos pagka May, naoperahan ako.
Igorgor na. Iyang lagi
Ipo ako kabalos lagot. Kinapon. Yawa! Ang tagang sa amin sa sinila.
Alay na mo.
Ano kung taga-tudin na ito? Padala ko ba?
Ayun na nga mga kababayan, yun nung pinaka-latest na pagsasalita nitong si Vice President Sara Duterte sa mga kababayan natin diyan sa Misamis Occidental. Ito ho, rekta ho tayo dito sa oral argument diyan sa Supreme Court na nangyari kahapon. Ito ho, game.
Attorney Hermosura, you're also excused. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ito na ho.
Okay, Mr. Solicitor General, please.
May malilitsyon ngayong araw. Pangalan Maynard Guevara.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Maynard!
Yes, good
Maynard.
afternoon, Mr. Solicitor General. Mr. Solicitor General, can you please refer to the provision in the law, UHCA law, regarding which reads, no portion of the reserve fund or income thereof shall accrue to the general fund of the national government or any of its agencies or instrumentalities, including government-owned or controlled corporation.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Is this the first time, last year, was it the first time that GOCCs or any government agency for that matter were required to review and reduce their respective reserve funds for the purpose of producing funds to be transferred to the National Treasury?
As far as I know, this is the first time, Your Honor.
All right. So, would you agree that in so doing, review and reduce their respective reserve funds? Okay. The PhilHealth specifically reopened the closed books. Its closed books in 2021, 2022, and 2023.
Your Honor, I am not really very sure about the technical meaning of reopening one's books. But as far as I know, based on that provision of the special provision 1D, chapter 43, on the unprogrammed appropriations, what is simply required is for the GOCCs to review and reduce to a reasonable level their reserve funds on the basis of their historical disbursements over the past few years, 3 years to be more specific.
Yes,
So
Mr.
it's a matter of
Solicitor General.
simply looking at the data pertaining to their annual disbursements for 2021, 2022, and 2023.
All
Your Honor.
right. And because of this review, the PhilHealth was able to reduce its reserve funds for these 3 years. And it is those funds that the PhilHealth transferred to the Bureau of Treasury.
No, Your Honor. They computed the reasonable amount of reserves based on actual disbursements for the past 3 years. And the remainder is the one that was used as basis for determining the amount to be remitted back to the National
So
Treasury.
do you mean to say, Mr. Solicitor General, that for 2021, there was an excess reserve funds?
Excess of reserve funds?
Funds, yes.
I would say that, excess of reserve funds in relation to what, Your Honor?
Reserve funds are specifically earmarked to answer or cover payments
Yes,
of
Your
the
Honor.
claims of beneficiaries. And if there is an excess, to fund programs that will ultimately reduce the financial responsibilities of the beneficiaries. And third, if there's still excess in the excess, to invest the same. So, Mr. Solicitor General, in 2021, was there excess reserve funds?
Your Honor, if we are going by the definition of reserve fund under Section 11 of the Universal Health Care Act, that reserve fund is determined by the actuarial computation.
Yes, Mr. Solicitor General, I have no quarrel with that. My point is, was there excess funds in 2021 coming from the reserve funds of PhilHealth?
Yes, the answer to that question is yes, Your
and
Honor.
Section 11 tells PhilHealth what to do with the excess funds.
Exactly, Your Honor.
Doesn't it? Yes?
No, Your Honor, there is no violation. Because that responsibility on the part of PhilHealth to make use of any excess over the reserve fund for the twin purposes of increasing benefit packages and reducing the contributions from the members is something that can be implemented within the period of 10 years. It's not something that has to be implemented immediately. So in other words, even if we have that special provision 1D, it does not mean that the obligations of PhilHealth to spend the excess over its reserve fund has been abandoned, because that is something that can be complied with at some future time. It's
At some future time.
It's a 10-year period of implementation, Your Honor.
This is the sixth year.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you have not started with the programs yet. Because according to you, the excess funds may be devoted for other purposes. Because anyway, the timeline is 10 years.
No, Your Honor, there is no inconsistency, because as we speak, PhilHealth has been increasing its benefit packages even before Special Provision 1D came into effect, and more so after that provision, provision, was enacted as part of the unprogrammed appropriations.
Yes, Ms.
Akala siguro nitong si Marcos Jr. makakalusot tong si Maynard Guevara. Hindi, kahit nag-ano pa kagaling ang abogadong iharap nyo, pagkamali, hindi kayo makakalusot.
We have
Mr.
seen a
General.
slew of benefit increases over the past several months, Your Honor.
Several months, not only. Several months only.
But even
When PhilHealth is required to do it from the time it has been created under UHCA.
that is very true, Your Honor,
Yes.
but this is a matter which is reserved to the Board of Directors of PhilHealth. This is
Yes.
a management
A
thing.
management and a business judgment. But then, the judgment of PhilHealth to disburse its funds is limited by Section 11. That reserve funds, as it is named, is reserved and cannot be subject to the discretion of PhilHealth to be used for another purpose.
We are referring, Your Honor, to the excess over the reserve fund.
Yes, but the excess is also subject to the provision of Section 11. And Section 11 mentions the purposes for which this excess should have been used.
Yes, Your Honor. Let me discuss the second purpose, which is to reduce the contributions of the members. In our opinion, Your Honor, that is something that PhilHealth itself cannot do at the moment. There is no mechanism provided under the Universal Healthcare Act that would authorize the reduction at this time of the contributions from the members. What we see in the Universal Healthcare is a schedule of the premium rates from 2019 down to 2025. But after 2025, there's nothing there. And there is neither any provision for a reduction of the contributions rates, the premium rates. So it is our opinion, Your Honor, that legislative action is necessary to bring down the contribution premium rates.
Right? That is your opinion, Mr. Solicitor General.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. But this court's, my reading is this. This is self-executing. And it is PhilHealth that must execute it because the law is in place already. All right. All right. When funding unprogrammed appropriations, how does Congress determine where to get the funds and which appropriations to realign?
Your Honor, under Special Provision 1D, there are various sources of funds, such as excess of revenue collections over the targets, or new revenues, whether these are tax or non-tax. There are foreign loans approved, which might also go into the pool. And finally, this new additional source.
And excess reserve funds.
Excess...
Reserve funds.
no, it's called
As a result,
fund balance.
Yes, as
Your
a
Honor.
result of the review and reduction scheme
To reasonable levels
Yeah.
of
to
their
reasonable level
reserve funds.
is discretionary. It has no fixed standard. All right.
There
So-
are guidelines, Your Honor, set by the Department
Yes.
of Finance for determining the computation of what should be a reasonable level.
Yes. According to the DOF, the funds to be remitted to the National Treasury will finance urgent national projects. In Annex A of your compliance, dated November 8, 2024, pages 1 to 4, the OSG enumerated some of these projects, including routine maintenance of national roads, the Panay-Guimaras-Negros Island Bridges, or the PGN Bridges project, and payment of right-of-way. These are all construction projects, Mr. Solicitor General, correct?
Not all of them, Your Honor.
All
Some
right.
of them pertain to health projects.
No, I'm talking about the routine maintenance of national roads, the PGN Bridges project, and payment of right-of-way. Correct?
In a sense, they are
Yes,
routinary,
they are.
ordinary expenses,
They
or
they
expenditures.
pertain to construction projects of the government. Correct?
Infrastructure.
Yes. You can call it that, infrastructure projects. All right. With respect to the PGN Bridges project, per DBM's budget of expenditures and source of financing, FY 2024 report, the PGN Bridges project appears to be fully funded by the Export-Import Bank of Korea in the amount of 174.49 billion plus. Is there an urgency to transfer the PhilHealth funds when the project is already fully funded?
Your Honor, this is a matter really of delving into the wisdom of the legislature in allocating funds.
Yes.
So while
funding a project that is already fully funded under the category of unprogrammed funds.
I didn't quite get the
Programs.
question,
Yes.
Your Honor. Pardon me.
Yes. Export-Import Bank of Korea has loaned the Philippines 174.49 billion plus. Is there an urgency to transfer the PhilHealth funds when the project is already fully funded?
Your Honor, I think one consideration by the Congress in doing so is a determination of when a project is already implementable. So if a project that has already been identified and sufficiently funded is considered to be non-implementable for the given fiscal year, then I think it is the decision of the Congress in the exercise of its policy or wisdom, so to speak, to move it to the unprogrammed appropriations in the meantime.
Yes, all right. So, has the government moved this amount to the unprogrammed funds of the government?
There are I'm
This
sorry, Your Honor.
Export-Import Bank of Korea loan, has the government moved it to unprogrammed funds?
We will have to check on
Yes,
that. Whether
please check on that.
Yes, whether that has been actually transferred only or removed altogether.
Yes.
Because there were certain removals made by the Congress in the proposed infrastructure or other projects
How
of the
can
government.
the government have removed this when it is a loan specifically for that purpose?
It is something that can be deferred, Your Honor, even
Yes,
if it's
what
funded.
is the reason for deferring it?
Your Honor, I cannot speculate on
Correct.
the reasons of the
I go
congressman.
now, yes, to my next question. Has the government spent even a single centavo from that loan, considering that the project has not even started?
Nako.
Well, there is nothing to spend for if the project has not even started, Your
So
Honor.
where is the money?
The money,
Magaling itong si Magaling tong si Honorable Ami Lazaro Javier, mahusay.
went presumably to the National Treasury for the purpose of using it for projects and programs under the unprogrammed
So we have
appropriations.
unused funds for the project, and yet we still got money from PhilHealth to supplement this fund that has been unused for years.
Not automatically, Your Honor, because even if the funds, even if the sources of funds under special provision number 1 of the unprogrammed appropriations is already there and is ready to be used for the projects under the unprogrammed appropriations, it is still a question of whether the implementing agency is ready to implement that project. So if the implementing agency does not think that it can implement such a project within the given year, then it will not ask for any allocation under the
Yes.
unprogrammed appropriations.
Yes, but aside from the foreign funding from Korea for this project, in 2022, there was additional funding from the GAA for this project in the amount of 50 million in 2022. In 2023, another 57 million. This is over and above the Korea Export-Import Bank of Korea loan. Where did this money go when the project has not even started?
Nako.
We will check on that, Your Honor, because that is a very specific project which we have not really examined.
Yes,
We're
please
looking
do
at
that.
the totality of all.
Magandang balita ang hatid namin sa inyo ngayong araw. Sa pagtatapos ng aming balitaan, nagbigay kami ng mga mahalagang impormasyon. Maraming salamat sa pagtutok at pagsuporta sa aming programa. Huwag kalimutang manatili sa mga susunod na araw para sa mga bagong balita at mga kwento na dapat nating abangan. Mula sa Boses ng MASA, magandang araw Pilipinas!